I'm about to add to this bag. Let's talk about what's happening. All right, gang, I am back again, and I am about to add to my bag of DOT. Yes, Polkadot. It's about to be on like popcorn. And I want to share with you what I'm seeing on this chart, which is making me bust a move and add to this position. So let's get me off the screen and jump straight into this chart. We're on the 4-hour chart. So I picked up on something that I did not see before, and I was previously waiting for this price to come down. Let's draw on this screen and talk about it just a little bit. When we dipped down to the $4 range this last time, I added to my bag right here. Okay, so as we ramped back up again in this area, we came back down and I added a little bit more here. So then we shot up to this point, and I thought, well, I think it's going to come all the way back down to this $4 or $3 level because of this grouping of volume on the volume profile. But now that I'm looking at this chart, I changed my mind on that. I think I am wrong. And I have a new point that I am going to put more into my position, and it's going to happen probably by morning. Here's what I see. Right here, this green trend line that's been going on ever since the beginning of the split. And the azimuth of this trend line matches the same trend line that Polkadot was on before that 1-to-100 split. So when you consider that, we look at the action here, and what has been going on with this action ever since this split? Well, we came out of the box of the pump, of course, and it kind of started to go back down. It didn't make it to the line, but we jumped up. We made a support right here. That's a support. And we moved up again. We made another support right here. Jumped up again. Made another support right here. So we dipped down and violated this support, which I thought it would become resistance. It kind of did, even though it poked through just a little bit, but it came back down. And the second time that it busted through, I knew this would be support. So it jumped up again. So I actually bought all the way up here in the $6 range. What I didn't see coming was the correction with Bitcoin that would cause this support to be violated. So we jumped on down, violated this support, and you can see it became resistance right there. It banged its head on that line. We went all the way back down to the previous support line, and guess what happened? We violated that, so it became resistance. Notice how price went up, hit its head on those wicks, came back down, and then we moved up again, hit its head, came back down. And the third time, it broke this line of resistance and it flipped back to support. Okay, so this is why I don't think price is going to return back down here to the $4 or $3 level. Now, I tell you what, I could be completely wrong about this. So don't listen to me, make your own decisions. But let's keep on moving and show you what I see. Once again, green support line on the same slope as what we had before. And this is the line that we have been bouncing off of as a base. So here's what I see the possibilities that could be in the works for us right now. So since we bounced off of this base, after we poke through it, it could become resistance again, but I don't think it's going to be resistance for long. All right, so we bounced off here, but we poked through it with these two wicks. So I think there's a possibility that we could sail on through this again, but then bounce back up again right off of this green ascending line. And that is how I am going to play this. So what I'm looking to do is to start accumulating as we get close to this red line that is the support resistance line, and also the green base support line, the ascending green base line. All right, so why do I think we're going to get support when we get in this area? Well, I'll tell you why. Number one, we got a lot of volume right here on the volume profile where there is strong institutional buying that goes on. So you can see that when we, not counting the point of, I don't know why, every time I make a video, I can't think of, it's point of control. Point of control, there we go. The point of control is up here at $6.20. But the next highest level is right here with this group of bars. So this coincides right in this area where the green support line is. So that's why I'm thinking this is probably as far down that this thing will go. Okay, so let's just zoom in on this a little bit and look at it so I can show you where this buying zone is that I'm going to use. Now, again, don't do this just because you hear it from me. Make your own decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. You can lose a lot doing this, but you could never lose if you just hold and wade it through the storm. All right, so at the current price of $5.15, I'm going to wait until we get to this red line of support, and I'm going to buy right on this line. So here's the win-win situation. If I'm going to call this my buying zone, if this is my purchase zone, I can't lose, okay? And the reason is because if I get a purchase here and it continues to go down, I'll dollar cost average, and I'll keep buying until we get to this green line. Okay, so if it does happen to bounce off of the red line and move up, I've already got one bag that I added, then I'll start accumulating again. If it goes all the way to the green line, I'll still accumulate, and then we might see this next bounce to the next group on the volume profile. But it could slip all the way back up here to this cluster at $6.20. Now, I said this is a win-win, and you probably say, well, what happens if we violate this line? What happens if we bomb through this lovely green support line? Well, it can happen. So let's take a look and see what we would do if Bitcoin corrects and goes far below the CME gap. It is possible that the dot price could bomb through this line. So we're going to have to zoom in to see where the next clusters of buying are if we were to violate that support line. So let's just move the chart over. In fact, it might be over as far as it goes. This is all the data that we have, but there is one more cluster down below. Now, if we did come all the way down to this cluster that is around the $3 mark, it's still a win-win situation because it would be a Merry Christmas for me if we could go all the way down to this trading zone. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I don't believe for a minute that if we got so lucky to get to this cluster, that we're not going to bounce just straight on up and continue this trend. September can be rough, but hey, we've only got, this is the 14th when I'm recording this. We only have a couple of weeks left. October has traditionally been a consolidation zone. Since I have been watching crypto and losing sleep since 2017, October has been the consolidation month, and November is usually when the market starts to move. I think we're going to have a nice, decent run in November, and I'm starting to think that the real bull run is going to be fall of 2021. Okay, so if the price does fail the green ascending line of support, Merry Christmas. I'm going to load the wagon like crazy if we can get down to here, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. So it is a win-win situation, in my opinion. But I know one thing. I'm not going to let myself look back on this day and say, I wish I would have accumulated Polkadot when the price is around $150, $250, $300. Because I'm thinking that with the strength of this project and the problems that it solves and the competition it can give to ETH, it's going to follow right in the footsteps. And I think the future is very, very bright. Let's look at a couple other indicators on this chart. Get rid of my good looking face there. And let's clear this. Let's look at what else is going on. The OBV, on balance volume. I'm starting to use the OBV more than the accumulation distribution indicator because this one just seems to be, I've got a better feel for it because I've been using OBV ever since the penny stock days. Yeah, I was hustling it hard back in 1999, kids. Yes, when I was jumping in and out of positions during the penny stock the dot-com craze when the penny stocks are going bananas on the OTCBB. Well, anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this. So it looks like we've got some nice accumulation going on. We have this bump up right here, and this coincides with a nice bullish looking stochastic. So with the stochastic just peaking up and it's not even in the oversold zone, I'm going to call this bullish right here. Okay, because what happens is when we go above this 80% boundary, okay, here's that 80% line. This is when we're in the oversold zone. We can see that the fast line, blue, has crossed over the slow line, red, which indicates a change in trend. But now, if you will put your attention up here, notice that we've got some red bars. That's what you call a divergence. So let's call this a divergence here, and that's a bullish signal. So what's going to probably happen is if we get down to this red line, I think it's going to move up, and then we'll look to see how far price gets pushed up when the stochastic ends up in this zone. But as Polkadot has showed us before, sometimes it likes to stay above this line. You can see here that when we got up here into the overbought zone, we had a slight dip and it moved back up. And then we had 1, 2, 3, there I missed one, 4, 5 different times that the stochastic turned back around from heading downward and popped back up. That's when we pumped all the way up here to the all-time high. Here's another thing that we have to look at. Notice how when the stochastic went down right here, that the corresponding price at this dip was still higher than where we were before the dip, before the previous level. Right here, okay? And then notice again with stochastic moving up and then down again, the corresponding price with this deep dip was right here. So we had some very nice consolidation, and that was a divergence because the price wasn't really moving down while the stochastic was moving towards the oversold zone. And it really never did get heavily oversold, and it only poked through right here. That's the only time we went oversold in this heavy dip right there. So this tells me that we have plenty of room left right here in the overbought zone for this price to get pumped up. So that is my opinion, just my opinion of what I think can happen. So I'm going to go ahead and add my bag in my little magic zone right here. You do what you're going to do, study it, do your own due diligence, make a decision and stick by it. Have a strategy. And if you go in with a strategy, you cannot lose. And I don't have much of this. I only have 20 Polkadot because I'm just learning this and I'm learning more and more by the day, and I'm not going to dump a ton of money into it. But can you imagine what 20 Polkadot will be worth 5 years from now? Think about that. So that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Comment below. What do you think Polkadot is going to do? Is this a time to accumulate, or are you going to wait it out and see what happens on the Bitcoin dip, on the current correction? Subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't already. That would be a big help. And thanks for joining me. Give me some suggestions of some projects you would like me to check out the technicals for, and we'll see you next time. See y'all.